That's it for the show.
it for the
That was
Bodhi
like
show.
the best bit of the show. That was right in the last 45 seconds.
Oh my God, you just had like a little mini meltdown.
It's time for the Bodhi Show. It's time for the Bodhi Show. Yo, it's time for the Bodhi Show. It's time for the Bodhi Show. Yo, it's time for the Bodhi Show. Yo, it's time for the Bodhi Show.
For the Bodhi Show.
That was delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't listened to that in months and months and months, and I've been thinking about playing it again because it's fantastic. And Jay is also he's exiting ski season. He's a coach and a race dad and all this stuff. So he's exiting ski season, and I could imagine his creative energy is starting to build along with the thought of spring. I saw robins outside today. No, yesterday. I saw robins outside yesterday.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. We have a raven here.
Oh.
And he likes to build a nest in our barn, and he's been at it the last couple of days. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool bird. It's huge, like a really big crow. So yeah, we've got some bird action over here as well.
All right, good. Spring
Good
bird.
stuff.
Yeah, I think building a nest, that's spring-like.
Oh yeah.
That's spring behavior. You don't build a nest in the winter.
Yeah.
Robins showing up, that's spring.
Yeah.
Jay doing his first, because he did that house remix of his own music. The first time he ever remixed his own music, he did that last spring also. So yeah, spring. Welcome, listeners. How you doing? It's time for the Bodhi Show. It's a little odd starting the show with without the traditional typical music for you and me, because it sort of tips us off. That was a little well, I think I kind of want to chair dance a little bit, which I did. I pumped my fist. Yeah. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm doing just fine, thank you. I feel like I'm really enjoying what's left of winter.
Oh, that's a good way to be.
Yeah, there's only going to be so much downtime once spring arrives in a couple months.
Okay.
And this is a nice time. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Super chill.
The light change. I've mentioned that many times in the last few shows. It's the light change that hits in February. It's like, oh, wait a minute. When it's light in my bedroom in the morning, it's not that I've overslept and it's 7:45.
Right. Right. No, it's so true. The light is so nice right now. And it's super cold here today. It was 2 degrees this morning, but there's so much light. It's so bright.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
20 this morning in Philly, which was, man, it was probably close to a 30-degree swing for us. I think yesterday morning it was pushing 50 in the sun, and then there it is. All right. Well, that's enough about the old people weather conversation.
Well, how are you doing, Jeff?
Me, I'm fine. I'm sewing my sweater sleeve today. I did some work on a project, and
Sewing your sweater sleeve is an excellent winter activity.
yeah, right. That's friggin' Little House on the Prairie winter activity. I'm
I mean,
darning.
if it were summer and you were crazy busy, you wouldn't be sewing anything. You'd just be throwing it away.
Yeah, summer. That's the time to just go faster and throw more stuff away. Okay. We have a little bit of old business to discuss. We seem to have tapped a nerve. We seem to have, unbalanced the universe with the discussion of trim and trim tabs and set last week's episode, right? When I was ambushed, I felt like a little like not to make light of something that was very serious, but I felt like an entertainer in the 50s with the McCarthy hearings coming after me for being a subversive. All right, that's pretty dumb. I'm not gonna. I want to say no. I'm going to ask you. On balance, we heard from a lot of people, relatively speaking, about what relative to so we hear from people onesie twosie here and there, but this is we heard from a lot of people relatively speaking to other stuff
you might have heard
we've said.
from some that I didn't. I don't know, but I think I heard maybe 5.
Yeah, I got another 3 that were like, "Hey man, I'm with you." Oops, no, I no.
MJ or MJ?
Wait a minute. We have a caller. MJ,
Hello.
you're on the
Is this
Bodie Show. You're on the Bodie Show. You reached the Bodie Show. How can we help you?
Hi, Bodie Show. I forgot about the time difference. I'm in Louisiana right now.
Oh, how about that? Are you at a crawfish boil?
I'm not at a crawfish boil, but we're heading to a crawfish boil shortly.
I think that's just most of what is going on in Louisiana in my mind is you're either at a crawfish boil or you're headed to a crawfish boil.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is just like interim steps between crawfish boils.
Yeah, we gotta go get the crawfish and the stuff to boil it with because we're gonna have a crawfish boil.
Yeah, you know how they catch crawfish?
How?
They have these like big nets out in the mud flats, and they're like bottom feeders, so they're like swimming around in the mud eating all of the crud that's in there, and they just scoop them up on the big nets. It's kind of crazy.
Huh.
We were watching videos on how to eat them because this is our first time at a crawfish boil in Louisiana, so didn't want to look like a fool. And you twist the head off and then like get rid of that whole thing, head, eyes, claws, and just eat the little tail meat, and it's really, really good.
Huh.
It's like a lot of crawfish, not a lot of meat that's actually eaten.
What happens to all the remains?
There's a big bin. So everybody, it's like 20 people standing around one big table with a bunch of crawfish on it. And they have big crawfish carcass tubs at the ends.
Do those get like dumped back in the marsh so the crawfish can be recycled? I hope
Eat
so.
themselves?
Like chum or something?
Yeah.
Chum?
Ew.
Well, there's all kinds of innards and edible bits in the crawfish remains. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you got to scoop the poop line because they eat like all the nastiness.
Wait.
Willa and Alexa, you want to say hi to the Bodie Show? Hey, Bodie Show, what's up?
Hello, Will and Alexa. Wait, are they?
Serena, you want to say hi to the Bodie Show? Hi, Bodie Show.
Hello. Who's that?
Serena was a debutante last night.
Oh, la di da.
Yeah.
Was there a cotillion?
There was a. She got like presented to the queen. She was wearing a wedding dress.
The queen of what?
Pretty cool. The queen of the ball, bruh.
Who was that?
Obviously. I don't know, some lady in a fancy dress. She had a scepter.
Dude.
Who was the queen? It's crazy. The South is crazy. I can't even I can't comprehend what's happening, but it's happening.
You went from scooping the poop line to being presented to the queen?
Yeah, and now we're walking to the crawfish boil in cowboy boots. Like, what?
Sounds awesome.
This is crazy. Yeah, there is a big warehouse that they keep all the floats in because they have like a school of design where these really, really cool artists go and build the floats. And they're all stored in this big warehouse, and you can go and view them because they roll on Tuesday, which is the day of Mardi Gras. And they're all made out of paper mache, and they're just absolutely beautiful, like breathtaking detail, colors. And there's like a bunch of little kiddos running around looking at them. It was cool.
Wow.
It's cool seeing this all from like a local perspective.
The New Orleans townie. That is
exactly.
That is your friend.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So have you this is a Bodie podcast, so we got to segue.
Oh, right.
Have you seen any Bodie stuff there? What have you come across? Ports?
The float that my friend's dad rode on was pirate ship shaped, and they were all dressed as pirates, and they christened the float like a boat with a bottle of champagne cracked on the trailer hitch.
Nice. Nice.
A Bodie float,
cool.
a boat float, a Bodie floaty. That's a
Bodie
Bodie floaty, Stephanie.
I know.
That's the float of the week.
That's the float of the week right
that
there.
That should be the float of the week, probably. Yeah. I do have a boat/love question.
Oh, good. Because this is exactly what I want to keep talking about episode after episode.
Well,
it's going to be fine.
It's a good question. And I think both of you would have good answers for it.
Okay.
So, I've been dating my girlfriend for 2 years now, and she is going to be living with us this summer. And I am curious because, and this is a little bit like of an interesting dynamic because I'm kind of holding the like patriarchy role here where I'm typically the captain of the boat, but I would really like for her to learn how to drive. And I was curious if you had any advice for navigating the dynamics of being in a couple and teaching your significant other how to drive the boat or letting them take the reins.
Well, it has led to many failures.
I've been witness to some
as you as you like from your own experience, what do you think the best way to approach this would be?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the most successful instances of this that I've witnessed have been you just gotta like let go of control and just be like, oh, you're also listening to us walk to the crawfish boil. So if there's ambient noise, that's what's happening.
No, this is good. That's atmospheric. Atmospheric is good.
You might hear some parades too. They live right by the parade route. Some of the most successful instances I've seen of it is just like hands off, let him do it, let him take the boat, don't say anything. But I have a little bit of you in me, which is crazy.
What do you mean, Mary Jane? You mean you're super chill and accepting of
yep.
Yeah.
Like I'm sympathetic to you now, and I understand how you felt watching us learn to drive, where it's like you want to give feedback and say things and pointers and critique what they're doing, but like really the best way when I was learning was just to be completely hands off and say nothing. But what's your advice?
Shephanie, take this one, please.
Take this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just give her to you?
Hey, Mary Jane.
Take back the boat.
Oh, she just give her to me. Yeah. I mean, I here's what I would say. There is, it sort of depends on your dynamic. Like, but I think you should try it and see how it goes. Because I think you've got everything. I mean, you know what you just said. You already know, right? Like you've already got the pieces of the puzzle. You know that you need to step back, but you also know it's going to be hard. So try it and see if you're able to. But you're right. I think you're right. I think you just don't really learn until there's not somebody kind of talking at you, right? Like when someone's telling you what to do, especially like a significant other to some extent. But like, I think it just activates your brain in a different way. Your brain's either leading, learning, or it's following. So if somebody's telling you what to do, you can do what they say, but you're not learning in the same way. So you really have to let somebody do it themselves. Once, you have to deal with safety. But besides that, I mean, people are just going to learn so much faster if they just know that they can do it themselves without having somebody constantly redirecting. That's my experience.
I think that's a really good point.
I get how hard it is. Like, I really like bringing people out and letting them letting them mess around with what the engine and the wheel does when they're out in the middle of nowhere, like not just docking.
Okay.
And then I also like having a bunch of docks that you can go to that are different docks in different places around.
Okay.
And where people know that you're just going to show up and like try docking on their dock. They don't have to like come down and hang out with you. And so you can go to different places and pull in there and then just leave again and then pull in again. You know what I mean? Just over and over and over. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think the docking is the thing, right?
It's the barrier
potential
to it. Yeah.
What's that?
Like you wouldn't want that. I feel like that's the barrier to confidence taking it out. It's like, I don't want to take the boat out because I don't know if I can dock it by myself. And like kind of the embarrassment. Like I think there's some stigma. I remember when I was learning, like not wanting to go dock at a friend's house because it's embarrassing if you can't do it on the first try or whatever. But again,
like having the idea of having somebody watching you just changes the way you feel about being inside of the experience.
Yeah, totally.
So
I think that's really good advice.
Getting them somewhere where you can do state park docks, you can do docks where people just like know what you're up to and they don't, they're not going to come down. You're just going to use their dock for that, Yeah. And then letting people just try fiddle around with it in the middle of the water as well is interesting, I think. And, but I also think that it's good for you to try it together and you guys can, you know what I mean? And work through it.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Exactly.
You stifle my inner Jeff. Suppress my inner Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, it took me a long time to learn how to introduce somebody to boating. And
well, and I feel like I watched your progression. Like you got really good at it.
Right.
And it was frustrating for you to just be like, you got it. Like, go do it. But that is ultimately what made me learn.
Yeah. And
because I think Steph's point that like you won't learn just by following. You need to be the one in the driver's seat making the decisions.
When you teach a kid or really anybody to ride a bike, you're not on the bike with them telling them to push their pedals in a certain way or steer the handlebars a certain way.
That's
Like
a good point. Yeah.
you get them on the bike, you sort of help them understand what balance is, and then you like support them with a hand on the seat for a little while, and then you just like let them go.
Yeah.
With boating, you're in a more dynamic environment, but not really. I mean, you're dealing on a bike, you're dealing with potentially cars or people, pedestrians or other people on bikes. So you gotta help people understand that, at least at the, where we boat, where there are rocks that you can't see, people have to understand that part of learning to drive a boat is learning to actually navigate around rocks.
And
so
that's the point where I think teaching is important, because you're not
Absolutely.
just going to intrinsically be able to figure out where the rocks are.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Well, we started out. We had a good segment on this, Steph, where we talked about how you learned by being told where to go, that these are the safe routes between the rocks, and if you needed, and then so you just sort of learned by that example, and then if you needed to go somewhere else, you went with somebody who knew that point A to point B already, or you followed them, or you followed another boat that was bigger than yours, and therefore if it hit a rock, it would hit the rock before you would.
Yeah.
Right.
And I learned to look at a paper chart, figure out where I was, figure out where the rocks were.
Mm-hmm.
And
then I learned with a GPS.
Yeah. And
Right.
Because that's how you taught us.
there was a lot of frustration between Missy and I when we were in our paper chart era before we got a GPS, because I would look at the
I
paper.
remember you having it like rolled out on the Helen engine box.
Yeah.
Like checking stuff out before we went anywhere.
And I would look at the paper chart and I would sort of visualize where we were going to go, and I'd pick some landmarks out while we were going, and that meant that I sort of had a map in my mind, a chart in my mind of where the rocks were when we were actually boating, and I didn't have to look at the chart the whole time. But then somebody else goes and they have somebody else looks at the chart. Your mom looked at the chart. She had a different mental map in her mind of where the rocks were, and she would choose a slightly different path. And we got into a lot of conflict because I was like, why are you going there? Like, in my mind, the line is 150 yards west.
Right.
And I had to learn to let go of as long as you're not as long as you're not hitting a rock, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah. Well, that's what's I think makes it more difficult with boating as opposed to like driving a car, is there is not one right way to go. And so you get these lines in your head of like the correct way around a shoal, for example. And like this summer, Walker took over driving a lot, and he would go somewhere that I didn't typically take in a line, especially in and around like Castle Francis Channel area.
Yeah.
Like he took some lines that I hadn't taken before, and I was like, whoa, where are you going? Are you good? Do you know where the rocks are? And he's like, yes, it's fine. Like, oh, right. I didn't even know you could go that way, because you get kind of stuck in your your patterns.
I have a couple
ways that you go.
I have a couple of suggestions.
Okay.
Some really low key, slow, as in you're not trying to get to the cove for the party by three, so you're not under any time pressure. But like some relatively slow cruises around things, around islands, around shoals, that kind of thing. With the GPS on, also grab the paper chart out and look at that, because if the GPS dies, it's good to look at the paper chart.
Yeah, we were just talking about this, like navigating around New Orleans, how our generation didn't learn how to navigate without our phones.
Yeah, telling you exactly where to go.
If your phone dies, you're like a blind bat, because you have no concept of like even how to navigate. It's interesting phenomena.
I think it'd be important to teach Hannah, your girlfriend Hannah, to not depend on staring at the GPS to be safe, because that takes a lot of the fun out of it. And it's also not as safe, because if you're staring at the GPS, you're not doing the other thing, which I think is important to teach her, which is head on a swivel, because
looking out for other boats.
Yeah. It's not just you out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And so head on a swivel, but then also a little bit about rules of the road, right of way, because as
well, and is it a thing that everyone's going to need to be boater certified soon?
Everyone except me.
Steph's just going to tell.
Right, I heard you guys talking about that on the show. I didn't know that. Yeah, I need to track down my license.
Right, Steph.
Find that. But so maybe she could take a course. That would be good.
Yeah, and then practice it. Yeah. Because
right away. I did want to. Wait, go ahead.
I was going to say, is it crabfish boil time? Crabfish, crawfish.
Boil time. I had one more thing I wanted to weigh in on, which is absolutely the boat needs to be set. It's completely ridiculous that anybody would throw their weight around while you're driving. It's my biggest pet peeve when I'm captaining, and I know we're all Penningtons weighing in positively on that note,
and
but like it's
all rowers.
My brain stem. Yeah, I rowed for 7 years competitively, so it's like in my blood that it's not.
We had some.
For the boat to
I got some.
sunset.
You're going to segue us back to what we were talking about before you called. So, thanks very much for your question, and have fun at the crawfish boil.
Thank you so much.
Take a good selfie of you and your friends at the crawfish boil, so we can post it with the episode announcement. All right.
Okay, will do.
All
right.
Bye,
Love you guys.
Love
Bye.
You. Bye. What do you think of that? That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I could add a bit, which is there's a way to not teach somebody to boat, which is how I found myself a lot early on with Missy, and it at times got her to the point where she was like, I don't want to drive. No, it's not fun. If you're going to be like that, it's not fun for me to drive. And that's not cool.
Yeah. I mean, when I do that with people, that's my primary goal is fun.
Yeah.
It, like, even before, and I often will let people just start driving and just tell them, just go. And then I'll let you know if you should go, if you don't worry about hitting anything. I'll let you know if you're going to hit something, but just have fun. Just like hammer down. Go. That's the whole point of it.
We take this, it's recreational boating. We're not Gordon's fishermen or like friggin', the professional mariners or anything like that. We're out there completely by choice, blowing our disposable income in the silly way. And then to like take it very seriously. It's something else.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And that I feel like that this is, to me, was so interesting about the whole tippy boaty thing, is it's not about whether, for me, like, about whether the boat tips back and forth or whether it's set. Like, I just feel grateful that I don't care that much about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should be clear about the fact that when my boat is really tipped all the way to one side, I do find it kind of annoying. Remember how halfway through the summer I started filling up the left-hand gas tank only so that it was a little more even. Huh. But what I think, but my feeling is like I'm also like thrilled that I don't care that much about whether, like, if somebody reaches across my boat to get a beer, I do not care.
Yeah, it doesn't trigger you.
But everyone else in the world does.
Yeah, except for you.
What we've learned.
Well, everyone else cares enough to tell us that they care. Maybe there's a silent majority out there that like doesn't care. They can live
with the fact that you might lean across and get a beer in the middle of the boat ride.
Yeah, or they don't mind
or that your dog might move.
That's what I was just about to, I used to get so bent out of shape at our dog Harley, who was like big enough and moved around enough on the small boat that we had once upon a time. That I was like, Jimmy Harley.
I know. I love the idea. I have to say, I was just fascinated by this. I'm like, what? Beyond the fact that, like, it's hard to control a whole bunch of people in your boat, and it's even harder to control the dog. I mean, what? Is it somebody's job to hold on to the dog so the dog does not move around the boat?
If I was wound tight enough, then yes, it was.
Well, I would say that there was a resounding majority that was in favor of a set boat, not just your family, but many other people that we know. And so now I know, I have a long list of people in my head that I will no longer reach for beers in their boats anymore.
No, or if you do, you like do it sardonically, but like, ooh, it's okay, I'm reaching for a beer.
Yeah, I'll like ask permission, because there's also a very heavy like, oh, the captain's in charge kind of vibe that came out of some of the responses too.
Yeah.
Which I think is also hilarious in the world of wrek boating. Like,
yeah, there's there's a captain and the captain's in charge and there's a hierarchy. Yeah, I've been reading all of these older yachting and sort of formal books about boating, recreational boating. There's a lot of stuff in there about the captain being in charge, and you got to listen to the captain, which if it's an offshore race on a yacht and it's a recreational offshore race, I get it. But like, if you're going over to Foxy's to get some lasagna and you need You need to be like obey the captain and wait to be told what to do, to like which line to get to tie up and blah blah blah.
I know. I will say on the flip side that when I explained this whole discussion and dynamic to JK, who of course is a professional mariner,
right? He
acknowledged that he definitely has been irritated by this in my boat before, but has chosen to say nothing because I'm the captain. So if I want to boat,
he's been annoyed by the set.
Yeah. Well, I don't know annoyed. I think he didn't really care, but he noticed it. He was aware of it. Would have done something if he was in charge of the boat, but wasn't.
But because you were the captain, so it cuts both ways. Yeah, the captain can be like, "Yeah, we're gonna be slammed down to starboard today, baby."
I know. I can't wait to take you for a boat ride. It's gonna be great. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I would not. I get the fact that it's like I think it bothers you deeply.
I'm getting better.
I will going forward. I will endeavor to at least take the set of the boats more seriously because of everything I've learned in the last week from you and our listeners.
I don't believe it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll think about it more.
That's how you'll take it more seriously.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to get worked up about it, though. I think I'd like to retain that component of my reaction to this whole thing. I don't need more things to be worked up about.
I think. Well, the other thing is, so Mark was on for that episode last week, and we got an email from his brother Paul. This message is for Jeff. I'm listening to the ice hole episode, and I'd like to apologize on behalf of my brother as he doesn't know what he is talking about. I myself don't own a boat, but I feel that having a boat imbalanced is inefficient and having to rely on trim tabs to center the boat adds drag. I myself would respect the captain's wishes and never question their authority. So many thoughts were in my head as I was driving and listening to the episode, but I want to keep this message brief. That is Paul trolling his brother, which he does really well. He knows how to push his buttons. But that was emblematic of many of the messages that we got from people. Boy, okay. Now I need to text you an Admiral's Choice, because if I had FU money, I would get this boat for you. Make sense?
FU money.
That's what I call, like, you got enough money that you can just tell people to go pound sand.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, hold on. So this was submitted to me by somebody else as my Admiral's Choice for you, but we could just say it's Janelle's Admiral's Choice for you.
Wow, look at her.
Yep.
Above and beyond.
Right. Looking out for her favorite co-host. Okay, I just sent it.
Oh, she's so right.
1985 32-foot Nordic tug.
I love Nordic tugs.
This is your opportunity to purchase a 32 at the price of a 26. Happy hippie.
I'm clicking on the link now, and the only thing I know is that I cannot afford any of the Nordic tugs. I cannot afford the 14-foot Nordic tugs, of which there are probably none. So unfortunately, it's a good price.
Yeah. So
okay.
Her name is Happy Hippie.
Ooh, it's a good name.
Hull number 2 of the initial 1985 production run of the Nordic Tug 32-foot trawler. Well maintained, ready to go. Propulsion is 170 horsepower Yanmar, turbocharged 6-cylinder engine with about 3,100 hours, which is not too high for a diesel. It's not too low, but for a diesel, that's doable if it's been maintained. AC, heat pump, electric windlass, electric bow thruster, recent all-grip red hull paint, stern bimini with screen enclosure. Lots of electronics, newer mahogany and maple flooring inside. It's got a dual electric alcohol stove. It's got a carousel oven microwave, AC/DC refrigerator. It has a DVD
funny.
Player, which is always good.
DVD player. Yeah, you can get lots of entertainment at a thrift shop.
Right. And I think this is being, my theory is this is being sold by somebody who loved to pay attention to it, because the first few pictures are of the like innards. The first picture is of her.
When you say innards, you mean the engine?
There's like a picture of a nicely laid out battery compartment. Then there's a picture of another nicely laid out battery compartment with a generator and an inverter.
When I hear innards, I think the inside, like the living section, but that's not what you meant.
No, that's not what I meant. Yeah. And big bronze 4-blade prop. But it's a really pretty boat. So Nordic tugs they reference tug aesthetics. So they'll have, like a tall, proud bow. They're pretty wide. There's a really thick rub rail that is down a few feet from the shear line, the top of the side of the boat, and there's a little bit of an inward slope, like an outward slope from the water to the rub rail, and then an inward slope back toward the boat to the gunnel. She's got
So hot.
She's got two little round portholes on a cabin up front, which is right behind a nice open bow area with tall rails for safety, and then up pops a sweet little, actually pretty big pilot house with lots of windows all around. A fake smokestack, always good.
Yeah, but it looks so good.
Yeah. And then
I love these boats.
Yeah.
Janelle just guessed and she was right. But I've been tracking people down the docks and talking to them about these boats for ages.
Didn't we follow somebody once in one to try and get them to be our friends?
Yes. We did. And then we went on one. Didn't we go on one at French Bay? Remember?
Yep.
We had drinks with those people.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I really like it from the outside more than the inside. I hate to say it.
Oh, really?
I mean, I like the bench and the table. That's quite nice. But a lot of it just looks really, I don't know. I have a weird thing about the insides of boats. I'm a little bit spoiled with the houseboat because it's so open
and bright
and like it never feels like down. But I think the other thing is I would need to just, I'm sure it would be different in person,
Yeah.
But it's a great, I love them so much from the outside. How fast does a boat like this go?
6.
Okay.
Like houseboat speed.
Yeah. Yep. That's
6, maybe 8 max,
I love it so much. 32. So it's about the same size as the houseboat.
Yeah.
The houseboat's a little bit bigger, but mostly because there's a bracket and an outboard on it.
Right.
One of these pictures says Doug's Tug instead of Happy Hippie. It's weird.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think it got painted and renamed.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Yeah.
But man, I do love these an awful lot. Just trying to think of what I could sell.
You've got two perfectly healthy children.
Yeah. I love it.
All
Where
right.
is it?
Florida. Even better.
Man, I love this boat so much.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good one. You're right. The interior's dark wood with windows all around. It's definitely like sort of tighter quarters, compartmentalized and made to be much more like a ship-like than the houseboat, which is made to be much more like a tiny house on a big steel hull.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like something a little bit dated about the interior, but like that's all easy, I think, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's all very traditional wood, dark stained wood boat interior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is the Admiral's Choice. So
yeah,
if I had 60 grand, I'd buy it for you. And
thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I hope you find 60 grand. Because I want it.
I gotta say thanks to Janelle for submitting it.
I know. Do you think so? Like, if I had this, I would obviously get rid of my houseboat.
Well, you're talking to the wrong person on that note.
I would obviously keep them both. Okay.
No, I not obviously. Like, I'm not saying.
Is there like, what size is that bed? I'm sorry, I'm not done. The bed looks like not big enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not the houseboat where you pretty much just like dropped a giant king size bed into the back of it. This is much more of a boaty bed.
Okay, it's like a double. It's like a double.
Yeah,
like
a double.
Okay. All right. I love the way they look from the outside, though. I really, really, really do. Someday, I actually think I'm going to get one of these. Who knows? This might be it. Janelle, well done.
Well played. We'll get some.
Well played.
Let's go with some applause. All right, now we're going to move on to Boat of the Week, and we have 3 submissions from one person and 1 submission from Doc Deals. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'll present them.
I'm pulling it up.
I pulled up the Bodie Show email, which is where I'm getting these Boat of the Week submissions.
Yep. Okay. And I've seen them, and I'm going to pull them up and look at them again now. But you go ahead.
All right. I haven't seen them because I don't like to look at them before Boat of the Week. So first, submission number 1 from Scott: Gru Cub Mini Speedboat, $4,600. 1985 Gru GREW Cub dual hull mini speedboat for sale with a 1994 25 horsepower Johnson outboard, newly rebuilt lower unit. Okay, let's see. This is a teeny tiny pickle fork speedboat
Why did you say pickle fork?
So there's a speedboat design where you have
Oh, I know what you mean. It has like the two bows.
yeah, it has two bows. It's called a pickle fork. Pickle
Got
fork
it.
speedboat design. It's sort of like maroon and cream colored. So there's bright red and cream colored. Well, some black accents also with a racing number 8 on the deck. So pickle fork means there's like two pointy bows in the front, and they're typically like a partial catamaran hull. So there's an open cavity down the middle, which on the actual giant speedboats, maybe on this one too, gathers up air, pressurized air because you're going at speed, and lifts the boat up a little bit off the water.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's really, the scale is really hard to tell because the boats you usually see that are this shape are 50 feet long, and this one is 10.
Maybe. It looks like it's about the size of a jet ski, and
it says length overall 10.
Oh, it's 10 feet long. That's like a modern jet ski is about 10 feet with a 25 horse outboard. Yeah. And so I don't know where I'd fit myself in this thing. I'd be like I'd be Big Bear on a bicycle with my knees up.
You'd be like, yeah, you'd be as tall as it is long. But yeah, I mean, it's awfully cute. I mean, you can't argue with that.
I love little boats because it's just not much to deal with, and you can have most of the fun.
Most of the fun. It is adorable, and probably fairly impractical, but on a nice, calm morning, I would drive that thing around, that Gru Cub Mini.
Gru Cub. All right, next, boat of the week, submission 2 from Scott. An actual wet bike. I think what we were looking at was not a wet bike, but what we called it that. It was probably like a Kawasaki, water bike or something like that. So this says, the power looks like an outboard Arctic Cat made a foray into outboards in the late 70s with their Spirit brand. Okay. So we're talking
this thing looks ridiculous. It looks like a hermit crab.
Yeah. So it's like, jet black.
Sort of like, but it's maroony.
It's
got a purplish tone, yeah.
Oh, almost. So it's like a bruise. It's bruised. Yeah,
it
bruised
looks like
colored.
a big bruised hermit crab. It's so ugly. I love it. It's so good. All right.
It's got a ski up front with like old school dirt bike, like 70s, early 80s dirt bike handlebars.
Yep.
That bruised color, and then a seat. Looks like the gas tank opening is going to be right between your legs. And there's not a lot of other information.
No, it's just a bad idea, and it just, I don't even know what else to say. Is that it has a compartment in the back? I do really like the font in which wet bike is written.
Yeah.
It's really unique. I've never seen anything quite like it. It looks very difficult to make this thing function, which I love.
The font is kind of like late 70s glam rock Motorhead, early metal font.
Yeah, you could see it on a like a metal album. That could happen.
Yeah.
But just looking at the skis, I can't even really tell. I have no idea how this thing actually gets up and does whatever it's supposed to do, which is perfect. I would like that to remain a mystery.
Yeah.
So
it looks for the listeners, it looks kind of like a snowmobile, except underneath it there's a really big wide ski up front, and that's what the handlebars are attached to for steering it, and then a really big wide ski in the back. And the front ski has some sort of shock absorber situation on it. The back ski doesn't look like it does, and then between the hull, like the body of the bike, which again looks kind of like an old school snowmobile, and the ski in the back is a big nozzle, and so there's a motor up under the seat, and then drive shaft down into that nozzle where there's some sort of jet pump situation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the good thing about this is if you wanted to not have to give your friends a ride anywhere, this would be the boat for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even if there was room on it, nobody would get on it with you.
Why not?
Because it's sketch.
It is sketchy.
But I love it.
All right.
Great job.
Submission.
Great submission.
Boat of the week submission 3 from Scott. Even less practical, a Jersey speed skiff. This is my I won the lottery boat. To get one of these and doll it up like a 1950s Lyman, complete with windshield and plaques. The ultimate sleeper.
Now, I've got nothing on that link, so...
Oh! Shoot, the posting's been deleted by its author. Got to it too late.
We're just going to have to take his word for this one.
Yeah. So
Jersey speed skiff.
Yeah, so Jersey speed skiffs they're still raced, but it's this they're 16 feet, really light, and then people put big V8s in them, and they've got like they're like minimum speed 80 miles an hour. They just go really fast, and their quote here, I found on some information about it. Quote, they're known for being unsuited for their speed, bouncing around and rolling sideways at seemingly impossible angles.
Oh God, that is a real interesting selling point and description.
Yeah.
I've got some pictures here too. Definitely on their side. Yes. 16 feet, 1650 V8 powered, minimum speed of 80 miles an hour. Perfect. Yep.
And the
terrible idea.
Picture I'm looking at, the boat's got a roll bar. You know your boat is unsuited for its speed when it has a roll bar.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. Man, they are kind of awesome to look at, though, aren't they?
And when you watch videos of these things, like listeners, if you can remember, if you listen to this in the car, see if you can remember or send yourself a text to remind yourself to look up Jersey speed skiffs on YouTube, because it's like a spectacle. These things are like chine walking and wobbling around and bouncing into and out of turns, and they look like they're about to completely lose it most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not watching videos. I'm just looking at pictures, but the outfits are also really amazing. I'm gonna send you this picture. Holy crap, these people look like I don't know what to say. They look like they're ready for anything.
Are they wearing Kevlar, this and that and the other thing?
And like head like hoods and goggles, which I think is a really nice touch. It's amazing. I hope this one ends up on the Instagram because it's good.
Yeah, send me that picture.
Like it's a little bit Star Wars.
Oh, really? All right. You just sent me I see what you're saying. Right. So yeah, Steph sent me a picture of a Jersey speed skiff, which is it looks like a tin boat, like 16 feet long. I think most of them are made out of wood, though I can't imagine all of them, that some of them be made out of fiberglass, but it looks like, like a little tin fishing boat that somebody put a V8 in, and this one is like 9/10 out of the water. The people driving it have bright orange helmets with brims, big goggles, life jackets that are like wrapped up around their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely looking I mean, Star Wars.
These are people who are dressed for that, knowing something bad's going to happen, not just like maybe something bad.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh boy, let's put all this stuff on because something bad's going to happen. It's going to be great.
Right, that's exactly right. That's so. It's this boat really gets a lot of points just for vibe.
They do kind of look like Star Wars, like the like X-wing fighter pilot helmets and all that stuff.
I can't put my finger on it because I'm not that good at Star Trek, but if people see this picture, they'll know what we're talking about.
You're so bad at Star Wars that you're bad at Star Trek.
Did I say Star Trek? That's not the first time that's happened. You'll be shocked to know. But you're right. I meant Star Wars. But you know what I mean? Like there was something. I think they were in those sand things. They were in the sandy place. And there were things that floated on things. Like the thing that floated.
I'm going to let that stand.
Okay.
Yeah. Amen, sister. They were in the same place and they were on the things that floated on things.
I know everyone knows the names for these things. I do not, but that's okay. All right. Are we? Oh wait. You know what else?
What?
We also there's another Boat of the Week submission.
Oh, did I missed it?
From Gabe Matheson.
Oh, let's pull it up. Let's see. Also, we're trying not to say last names.
Oh, sorry, Gabe.
If you get your identity stolen by the Chinese AI that downloads all these podcast episodes, Gabe, then it's not me. It's not my fault. It's Steph's fault.
Want me to read Gabe, no last names,
yes.
Submission? He submitted it with the following copy.
Go.
Original copy. I know we're back to the one note blue and white picnic boat from Hinckley theme with this one, but hear me out. A, effing beauty. She's got lines, curves, and swerve. Cuts through the water like a knife through butter. B, the stern is ready to party. Facing benches with a table between, and the flow from kitchen to patio is screaming to celebrate a day and night cruising through chop and still water. Once again, Gabe is outdoing himself with the original copy.
This is original copy. No AI here.
No. see, she's named McHappy3. McHappy question mark? Come on. Submitted with love. And congrats on your year of podcasts. Epic and inspiring. But that is some excellent copy, and I'm very excited to click on the link. I have not seen this one yet.
I just pulled it up.
Oh,
there's music. This is the music that goes with a video of a Hinckley picnic boat just
are you watching it?
cruising through the water. Yeah. Are you watching it?
Yeah.
Can you hear the music?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
McHappy 3 is a stunning example of the Hinckley Talaria 48 model. I'm going to see if I got the music off. Of the Hinckley Talaria 48 model and available for the first time since delivery in 2012. The Talaria 48 was introduced in 2011 and is unmistakably a Hinckley with its proportional perfection and sinuous lines. Beyond the pleasing proportions with a master stateroom forward and custom dinette that easily converts to second cabin is the salon, flowing seamlessly into the cockpit with ample seating and custom dining tables. McHappy 3 was appointed by a very experienced owner, using only the finest materials, and these details stand out in every facet of the yacht. Don't miss the opportunity to take ownership of this exceptional example of a Hinckley Talaria 48 today. Blah, blah, blah.
wow. It's very, very, very beautiful.
So flag blue hull, white boot stripe around the waterline, red bottom paint. Mm-hmm. It's an express cruiser format. No, not an express, a pilot house cruiser format. So there's a deck house, like a low deck house up front, and then that rises up into a pilot house that is open at the back. And I will agree with Gabe and whoever wrote the subpar copy that he should have written for this ad. That if you're listening, sorry, not sorry. The flow between interior and exterior, it's like those houses in warm climates where the living room and the kit is like also is outside and inside, and you just sort of walk between the inside and the outside.
It has sliding glass doors on the back of it.
Yeah, it does.
Which is lovely. And the swim platform looks amazing. These are the things that matter to me.
Yeah.
There are many, many portholes on the cabiny thing, and it has those nice like wooden raily bits, which are so attractive.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. And this is in a slightly different, this is in the wish category. This is the if money didn't matter category, right?
Right. And that's what Hinckley's selling. They're selling you.
Well, they're doing a great job.
Yeah. They're selling you a boat that shows that you feel that money doesn't matter.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It more like I'm just jealous.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right.
I love this boat. It makes me want to be rich.
Thank you.
But like it's so nice. So like I think this wins like it just definitely wins like the dream category. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Nah, we don't have a separate category for dream.
And like the bad idea category that Scott obviously won.
That's got one, right?
Oh, this is delightful. And the copy was great. Good job.
There was
Gabe.
one other submission.
Yeah, going there now.
This is a submission from Doc Deals. And I'm just going to be honest with the listeners.
Yep.
Doc Deals just posted this, and I'm going to count it as a submission because I think it's so friggin' amazing.
It's so hot.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. And, let me just say, we haven't described it yet, what I'm going to let you do. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's so, the thing I'm responding to is how little freeboard there is in the back, and then the way that the combination of the sheer and the windshield, those angles, are just amazing. I think that's what I'm responding to. But how tiny it is in the back is so great, don't you think?
Yeah. So let me pull.
Do you want to say what it is?
Yeah, you can say what it is.
Nova 24.
Yeah, made by Wellcraft, I believe.
Wellcraft bought it.
Oh, bought Nova
after this boat was made.
That was some discussion. Yeah.
That's what I gleaned from a little bit of the back and forth. So Nova Marine 24. There aren't many as Wellcraft bought them out fairly early. The Wellcraft Novas are cool, but this one is cooler. So this was before they were bought by Wellcraft.
Nova Marine 24 restored. So this is it's a straight up speedboat, but it's not like a Speedo and oily skin like cheesy speedboat. It's like a really classy speedboat.
It's the inside is so beautiful. It has bright orange upholstery, and the outside of the hull is dark blue or black. I can't tell. Probably black.
Yeah. Again,
It's
nothing against anybody who's rocking a Speedo and oiling up their tan skin in their giant speedboat. Respect. But it's what I like about it is it's a classic 70s, 80s speedboat hull, pre-cigarette craze speedboat. Very deep V. And the top sides, the side of the boat, not the bottom of the boat, the top sides have a shape that I like a lot, where it's almost like this flaring triangle from a really sharp point in the bow to the stern, with some curves baked in also. But what I love about this thing is that it's got a really tall wraparound windshield, and the way it sticks up above the boat makes it look both fast and comfortable. The boat looks fast standing still. The tall windshield looks like I don't have to get bugs in my teeth if I'm going fast, and I can also see around very easily.
Yeah, and I love the way the line from the highest point of the windshield is a straight line to the stern of the boat.
Yep. It's like, yeah, it's sort of, so the windshield is at probably about a 60, 70 degree angle, taller than 45, or like more upright than 45, sort of at its initial tilt. And it rises up where it looks to me like if I were standing driving it, I would barely get my head above it. And if I were sitting, it would be well over my head and I'd be looking out through it. And then from the top of that angle, it goes at a very, very shallow angle all the way to the stern, which is, like you said, is very low. Right.
Yeah. I just think this has some very graceful,
oh boy,
clean, hot boat lines going on.
This might be beating out the Bertram Baron 28 for me.
Really?
It
is beautiful.
In terms of
24 feet, which is 24 feet is a great length.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Just like, I mean, like I was thinking about it, like there's a bunch of stuff that you could do with this. It would be, it's going to be fine in rough, choppy water, right?
Agree.
Like you could ski behind it.
Agree.
It's, it's going to get you where you need to go if you have to go fast.
Agree. 24 feet in the water that we boat in for that.
You think that's right? You think that's the right number?
Yeah. I think if you go above 22 feet, if you're in that 24, 26 range, you're in a relatively lightweight boat. You're not in a 28, which is starting to get really heavy, but you'll span the tops of the chop instead of going
down.
up the side of one chop and then down into the side of the next one.
It's beautiful. And like as much as I love the Hinckley we just looked at, like where the hell are you going to put that? Like it's a big commitment.
The 24
it's a lot of boat.
24 foot Nova?
No, the Hinckley. It's so big, right?
Oh, that one. Yeah. It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have so much money you don't care at that point. So
right.
You don't care where you put it.
You just buy docks everywhere you go.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I got enough boats. I need more docks.
Exactly. You got to think about that. You got to stop sometimes.
All right. We're gonna lump together boat of the week. Oh my God, I didn't play the intro. We just went right into boat of the week. We'll play the whole song for the winner. But we're gonna lump together boat of the week and old boat ad. Okay.
All right. Let's go.
You with me?
Yeah, but don't you? Yeah.
Some of them old boat ads.
Here it is. From any angle, Nova's what's new. The new Nova is a new experience in boatsmanship. You have to approach her cautiously. She snarls and she jumps. So you start out gently, playing it by feel, and then you feel the surge of power that is the spirit, capitalized spirit, of Nova. How can anything so beautiful be so domineering? But then you learn how to master the new Nova. You sense the stability, the potential thrust, the sheer exhilaration of pushing the throttle forward. Suddenly you're the master, with a superb craft ready to answer your bidding. This is Nova, something entirely new. Unless you've been a Deepwater ocean racer, then you'll know Nova in a matter of minutes. She's a sweet, gentle, hell for leather family cruiser. You name it, she'll produce. Quite a boat. Such a boat, in fact, that if one engine should go kaput, most unlikely, ! She'll plane on the other one. That you can't beat, which is just one of the reasons why you should see the new Nova. And once you see and drive her, shake. New Nova owner. I'm a little speechless after reading that. I've never read that ad before in my life. I just found it while I was looking for pictures of Novas. I'm not sure if what we're talking about in this ad anymore. Because
I couldn't agree more. There's a lot happening.
There's a lot that's like swerving toward, S&M stuff. And
so is that the boat we just looked at?
Yeah, that's the ad for the boat we just looked at.
Okay. All right. Well,
that makes me want it even more. This ad's working. I want to know the answer to the question, how can anything so beautiful be so domineering?
So domineering, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely it's attention grabbing.
But then I learned how to master the new Nova. I sense the stability, the potential thrust, the sheer exhilaration of pushing the throttle forward. Suddenly, I'm the master, with a superb craft ready to answer my bidding.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Amazing! That's amazing. It's just incredible. That is, yeah.
She's a sweet, gentle, hell for leather family cruiser.
I don't even understand.
You're even using the word leather in the mix here, right?
What?
Like,
yes. Did you say hell for leather? What does this mean?
That's an old saying that means like, it's. You remember the song Rawhide from the TV show Rawhide and from the Blues Brothers movie?
Yeah.
Hell bent for leather, rawhide. Right? Hell for leather. It's like you're going for it. I don't know.
Oh my god!
I don't know
that's
that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, whew.
Well done.
I'm gonna need a cold shower. You have to approach her cautiously. She snarls and she jumps. So you start.
I know. When you first read that, I was like, wait, I thought we were doing boat ads.
Yeah, we are. We're doing old boat ads because this is what people wrote when it was time to make a boat ad back in the good old days. Now I don't even. What?
They didn't have the internet to show pictures, so they had to write something truly compelling. That is just so bizarre.
I'm gonna get fabulous. This boat just because of that. Like the Bertram Baron 28. Like, okay, yeah, Israeli Navy gunboat, fine. Which is that checks a lot of boxes in like the 14-year-old boy, but this thing checks a lot of boxes in like the 21-year-old boy. In me.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
I didn't know he was still in there, but apparently he is.
Welcome back. Well,
I could be reading this about Missy.
Yeah.
She snarls and jumps. You approach her cautiously.
I think we need that boat too. Is that one still for sale? Where did we get that one?
Doc Deals posted one. It's on Facebook. I can never log into Facebook because of blah blah blah. But I think we need a Nova. Just so I can have a boat that snarls and jumps and that I have to. Okay, we better move on from that. Like,
well, how do we choose?
So we have 3 submissions from Scott. Of those 3, I got to say the Jersey Speeds gift with a roll bar.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Is the leader there, and then we have Gabe's Giant Hinckley, which again, if I had FU money to buy you the Admiral's Choice boat, the Ranger, the Nordic Tug 32.
The Nordic Tug, yeah.
Then I might buy that for myself.
Yeah,
but sense. I don't know if Gabe wants that boat to win, given what just happened with the Nova. A, what it looks like. B,
the copy that goes along with it.
That ad. Gabe, as somebody who writes his own great copy, would probably appreciate the Nova copy.
I think you're right. I mean, who doesn't? And now I'm just looking for Novas for sale. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. No, the Nova. I think the Nova has to win.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's so sexy and it's so beautiful and the copy is peerless.
It's sexy. It's beautiful and it snarls. Ladies and gentlemen.
sneak. Check out that vessel, baby, isn't she sweet? It's the boat of the week, the boat of the week. Ooh, how I love me, the boat of the week. Da 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 da. Hey, yeah, let's check out the boat of the week.
I don't know that song has ever been played for a more suitable winner of Boat of the Week. I think that song and the Nova 24, as described by whoever wrote that ad, go together like peas and carrots. Go together like whips and chains.
Well, I'm like whips and chains. Well, that was very satisfying, and like the river's starting to sort of like become water again out there, so it's good. This is good. We're really, I feel like we're back on a roll with the Boat of the Week. We're gonna be popping at the seams in terms of having too many boats. I can tell.
We better not we better not come into any more money. That's what I'm saying. I think the only thing that's saving us is the fact that
yeah. Exactly.
All right.
It's dangerous behavior.
I got to do something here. I know we've been going for a while, but we've had a bunch of episodes where Love/Boat really ruled, and I think it's time for something a little more like technical, right? A little less about your feelings and my feelings, and all of the intricacies of interpersonal relationships. And let's just talk about
what have you got in mind?
Oh, I've got the Encyclopedia of Outboard Motorboating. Present from Scott. Another new water sport. This is in the chapter entitled Special Water Sports. And this is another, what's old is new again. Another new water sport which is not caught on as rapidly as water skiing, but which shows promise for the future, is driving hydrofoil-equipped boats. Hydrofoils, though they have achieved prominence only in post-World War II years in the United States, have been applied to small craft for nearly 50 years. A hydrofoil is a plane surface, flat or curved, like an airplane wing, designed to obtain a lifting action from the water through which it moves in a manner similar to an airfoil, like an airplane wing going through the air, as represented by an airplane wing. I guess I didn't need to think. Basically, the only difference between the two is that the airplane uses air for support and the hydrofoil uses water. Hydrofoils thus could properly be called water wings. Early designers of hydrofoils were immediately taken by the fact that water, approximately 800 times more dense than air, should have approximately 800 times greater lift. Hence, with much smaller foils would be required to lift the same weight in water as would be required to lift a like amount of weight through the air. And there's a picture of a guy he's the pilot of a Hazard hydrofoil that's got an outboard in the back, and he's flying above the water. I'm kind of fired up about this because I found this, and I could go on and on with the rest of this, but these are people. Wait, hold on. Several designers in recent years have applied the hydrofoil principle to outboard motorboats. Alan B. Hazard, one of the pioneer experimenters with the outboard hydrofoil theory, markets hydrofoil kits and complete boats. His water hazards, as the boats are called, are piloted in much the same manner as an airplane. That's pretty good.
That's amazing.
This is notable because that's like from the 50s, or 60s, but we're seeing hydrofoils all over the place now. It's being driven by electrification.
What are we see? What hydrofoils are we seeing?
Have you seen people on the like the little boogie boards flying above the water?
Yeah.
That's on a hydrofoil. Yeah.
I was thinking boat.
Okay, boat. Yeah, sailboats, like sailing. Hydrofoils have taken over the high-end professional racing circuit.
Yeah, we hired somebody at the hospital, and we were chatting, and he was telling me, he showed me a video of his sailboat that is a hydrofoil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he going to have it on the river?
No, not yet. He's just moving here, so he's been on the lakes and Adirondacks. But he was asking all about the river, so he could bring it here. Yeah, so he's going to bring it this summer, I think. Very good. It's
good to hire a boater to a hospital that has river in the name, River Hospital.
Right. And hopefully he falls in love with the place. I'm sure he will. But he's super into it. He called it flying. Yeah. It was cool.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
And you can, because you just reduce the drag, you get the hull out of the water. Electric propulsion is more feasible with hydrofoil boats, small hydrofoil boats.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that technical piece,
Jeff.
Time? Thank you.
It was tech time.
Tech time. Yeah, tech time was delightful.
I don't want to talk about my feelings. I want to talk about hydrofoils.
How do you feel about hydrofoils?
It doesn't matter how I feel about hydrofoils. They are an empirical fact in the universe, and they are they are cool. You know, right? They have lift because water has 800 times the density of air. So we don't have to talk about feelings, and we don't have to talk about like the right way to teach somebody to drive a boat, which you're probably going to screw up, and then they're going to be mad at you, and you're just trying to help. Poor me.
You love talking about feelings anyway.
I don't.
Like it's just me, but it's not. You do.
I humor you because I know how much you like to talk about feelings.
I feel like the foundation of our relationship is at stake.
Is at stake what, me humoring you, or whether or not I like to talk about feelings?
Yeah. I mean,
we're talking about feelings now. God damn it! I'm gonna read about. I got the book. I'm gonna read about hydrofoils.
Right back to tech time.
Yep.
Okay.
There are two firing methods used in multiple cylinder 2-cycle engines. One is the opposed firing method, which has gradually been abandoned by the manufacturers in favor of alternate firing.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I'm glad you feel better.
No, I don't want to talk about it. All right. We've clearly come to the end of the show.
Yo ho ho, that's it for the Bodie Show. Pack the cooler, grab the lines, let's go, go, go. Yo ho ho ho.
That's it for the Bodie Show. That was like the best bit of the show. That was right in the last 45 seconds.
Oh my God, you just had like a little mini meltdown. It's spring, all right.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Anything you want to say in closing, Stephanie?
No, I hope everybody has a wonderful week.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out. Bye-bye.